Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures. My name's Sam, an English guy who's been living in provincial Russia in the town of Vladimir for 17 years. So in today's video I thought I'd walk around another housing area in Vladimir where 20 years ago there was all old Soviet style dachas, and then in the last 20 years people have been buying those dachas, knocking them down and building new houses. But because everybody buys their own plot of land and builds their own house on it, all the houses look ridiculously different, and it's such a huge contrast now. So you've got houses that predated the revolution that are now falling apart. You've got houses that were built in the 90s when people had money, they wanted to build something, but they didn't really have any taste and they had no idea of how to build a nice house. And then you've got other houses that have been built in the last few years and they're kind of all jumbled together, and it's kind of a huge contrast, which is something that I really love about Russia. But I'd really like to know what you think of the video, so hopefully you're going to enjoy this walk around this area. So this is the first time I've ever been on this street in my life, which is very interesting because I thought I'd been everywhere in Vladimir. Look at this house, it's obviously brand new. They still haven't done the outside. The balcony is so cool. And then next door, it's kind of falling apart a little bit. Now this is something I talked about in a previous video, but this is not in the city centre. The old houses will eventually be all bought up, bulldozed, and new houses built in their places. There's a church over there that I've never been to that I'm going to go check out in a minute. Can you imagine what it'd be like to live in one of these houses? I know a lot of people talk about how nice they look and picturesque or whatever, but I don't know what they'd be like to actually live in. It often seems like the fences and the walls are kind of defying gravity. Look at this one here. I'm not going to go on the property, but it's like a collection of lots of pieces of wood kind of stuck together. You can see we've got the old style house here and then a brand new building next door, and I'm guessing this is a office building because it's got the name of the street in big letters on it. Now I'm guessing this houses some sort of electricity generator, but it's like built in the style of a castle almost. And look over here, we've got natural spring water where people, I guess houses here still haven't got running water in them. And look, they can pump this. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Look, there's some water. A real mixture of cars as well. Wow, huge contrasts. And look, this guy's got the letters JM. Who could it be? Who could JM be? Wow, that house over there is massive. But it's really situated in a strange place, isn't it, at the moment, because there's a huge block of flats behind there. This person's not going to be getting out of the garage anytime soon. Over here, look, we've got another interesting new build. Another one, and then right next door we've got this one. I don't know if people are living in it, if someone's just going to put an offer in soon. I guess it's abandoned. It looks kind of abandoned, doesn't it? Although the path has been cleaned. But this next door looks definitely abandoned. I'm sure there's nobody living in there. And then opposite we've got this type of building, which is a very popular style in Russia, almost like the kind of American, English kind of like style of build that especially they built in the 2000s. Next door to that we've got a very festive house, still in the festive spirit, the lights on. I hope nobody died and they didn't forget to turn the lights off. Maybe it's a sign that someone needs to go in there and check it out. Look at that tiny window over there. And then next door to that we've got another one of these old style dachas. And then this one is full of character, isn't it? What I like about these old houses, which is probably a good thing and a bad thing, is the different types of materials they've kind of used. Maybe they've just kind of like extended them over the years and they're kind of like a combination. But look, you can see the cellar down there, the window's open in it. And then opposite here we've got like an American style with the siding, very popular in the 90s. And look at the character in this one. This one's incredible. That is really interesting, isn't it? I wonder if at one point it was one floor and they built it into 2 floors, but very interesting house. And look, you can see attached to it next door is this small dacha. And we've got this little alleyway going down here. Well, not alleyway, but little small road. Blimey, could you imagine living in there? Here we've got a huge gate, and I'm guessing this is kind of built in the early 2000s. It looks like that kind of style. Got some massive gates here, and let's walk down the path and see where this takes us. Oh, I like going to somewhere new. This is obviously a 90s or early 2000s style as well, because the small windows. Where is this footpath going to lead us? This is kind of like no man's land a little bit here. Have a look at this house here with the window. It's always strange how people just build these little extensions, don't they? What's interesting is because everybody builds individually, depending on their budget. Some people will buy a piece of land or buy an old house, demolish it, and then slowly build it on their budget. Some people will not even demolish the old house, but they will actually just kind of build around it or next to it. Every single house looks completely different. And of course, the sad thing is the infrastructure between the houses, because if you're only building on your land, there's no company that's building the whole area, so they're not going to make all the walls the same or all the roads the same or anything like that. So it just looks like just loads of random, completely different houses all kind of grouped together. And I guess that's why people have high walls, so that when they go inside their gate, they close off the gate, they go behind the wall, and then they have their own version of heaven behind the walls. I really like the different colours in this fence. So let's take a walk further down the road, see what else is waiting for us, see what other surprises we've got in store. I love the colour of this brick, and the house is massive. Look how far back it goes. And I guess possibly it's different houses all in one. And this dude here has got the Soviet star on the window. Look at those icicles! And then next door, I'm guessing this again is some sort of generator or something. It's got like a hazard sign here. Здравствуйте. Я здесь первый раз гуляю. Очень красиво здесь, да?
Здесь красиво?
Да. Вы здесь живете, да?
Я там дальше.
А, там, да?
Немножечко.
Ага. Да, я всегда мимо еду на машине, думаю.
А вы где живете?
Семьясно, я далеко.
Далеко?
Да.
А сюда пришли еще смотреть?
Да, я всегда по этой дороге еду мимо на машине и думаю, ладно, давайте буду остановиться, погулять немножко, посмотреть.
А вы откуда сами?
Из Англии. Из Англии. Ну, я давно здесь уже, давно, да.
Живете здесь?
Уже 17 лет, даже гражданство получил недавно.
Ну, молодцы.
Так что да, я здесь.
Что, нравится больше, да?
Очень люблю здесь, да, очень люблю, да. А вы сама из Владимира, да? Или?
Я сама родом с Новосибирска.
Новосибирска? Да. А как получился, что вот так далеко сюда?
А у меня как, ну, я с сестрой, у меня муж военный был, и, в общем, я с ними ездила везде. В Твери была, в Твери, а потом уже зять мой, он в полиции здесь, начальник большой, ну и вот. И, ну, это, переехал сюда, а мы жили в Казахстане там жили. Ага, в Казахстане, а потом у меня муж умер, и он сюда перебрался и нас перевез.
Понятно. Но вы здесь уже давно во Владимире, да?
Да, уже, конечно, 27 лет.
О,
уже
ну
здесь.
да.
27
А вы видели, наверное, изменения, наверное, огромные, да?
Да.
За это время.
Я все время дочь на машине вот это возит, я смотрю, вроде все красиво, так вот, да. Сначала-то переехали, вот это, а сейчас все нормально, что уже привыкли уже.
Отлично.
Ага, эти племянницы в этом, в Твери, и тоже родственники еще немного в Новосибирске остались. Так что, знаете, ну и слава Богу, что вам нравится.
Ладно.
И народ здесь.
Да, очень приятно было с вами пообщаться.
Нормально, все хорошо, всего вам хорошего.
Спасибо. До свидания.
А вы где машина-то ваша?
Я поставим здесь на главной дороге. Я буду просто гулять немножко вот так по кругу.
Вот здесь недалеко, потому что там же это 9 января плохая дорога.
Нет, я вот тут, там даже на главной, на это, как называется, Красноармейского, я туда поставил. Давайте, до свидания. Look at the style of this house, very interesting. I love the kind of window frames that they have here in Russia, where they just make everything look really rich, really kind of picturesque. But it really is huge contrast in Russia, isn't it? Look at this big block of flats behind there, this huge house here, and then this one next door to it, and then obviously this. Although the sign looks really cool, doesn't it? I like how they've written the sign. Now, I absolutely hate bridges. It's one of my fears. I don't know why. Kind of hate the feeling of getting trapped on bridges, but obviously this one is not very scary at all, is it? And here you can see the pipes. Now these pipes are going to be for the hot water, and the reason the pipes are here for the hot water is so they can be accessed in winter. If they need to access these hot water pipes, they can get to them here. And this building here is very interesting because it looks like some sort of security would have been sitting in it, doesn't it? It's got the window where you go to pay or whatever, but I guess it's just like a shed. And then check out the character in this house here as well. Does it annoy you when I say check out the character or check this out? Do I need to say that? Just walked past some guys that wish me the best of luck in the country. Some kids. I didn't film them because, you know, it's kids, you don't want to film them, but look, they're like over there, you can see them. They asked me where I was from and stuff and said enjoy your time here, which is really nice. Just a couple of strangers, a couple of kids just wishing a guy that speaks with a foreign accent to enjoy their time in Russia. And then this style here, look at that, look at the container on top of there, that's mental. Now I think I actually know who lives in this house. I'm not going to stand outside of it for too long. Oh no, it's that one next door that they live in. It would be a bit awkward if I was standing outside the house and they came out, because it was a girl that I used to fancy and she's married now with kids. She just turned up outside the house and saw me standing there with a camera. It'd be a bit awkward. Let's take a walk down here. This kind of looks a little bit like a Spanish style villa, doesn't it? What do you think of this so far? What does it look like? Does it look like a nice place you'd like to live in? For me, it's interesting that there's lots of nice little houses here, right? I'm almost falling over as I'm speaking to you. But I prefer to be just a little bit outside of the city, in the countryside. I like the bottom of this wall. And whoa, that is like a crazy design style. This basically to me looks like someone that had a lot of money in the 90s and wanted to build a house and saw a picture and just went for it. I've been noticing a lot of these guys have got this blue bucket outside the house. What's that for? I wonder if you can go inside that little top window there, or that's just maybe an attic or something. And this is an interesting building, isn't it? I like the fence is amazing. And then over here we've got I guess another house built in the 90s, which is kind of like a sickly mansion almost, with the balcony. You can still see a lot of Russian cars down here as well. We've got another one of the old ones hidden behind the trees. I just like how there's so many different types of wood. They haven't made any waste here. Got different types of wood holding it all together. This house here is absolutely incredible. It's got his emblem of the house, or the crest up there, but what I like best is the chimney. Look at the chimney, that is absolutely insane. Brilliant, that is. Wow. This says be careful, warning, angry dog. I've got a feeling this is going to be a dead end. It's just going to be some garages. I can see the garages already. Who likes rap music? Well, this says raps. Then we've got the Kema Borscht crew. What other graffiti have we got on here? We've got a whole fence of graffiti as far as the eye can see down here. Huge contrast in Russia. Look, we've got another one of these blue bins. I don't know if you can see it over there because of the distance of the wide lens. It's going to look like it's miles away, but there's a house over there that's kind of been put together by loads of different colours. I wonder what this little building here is used for. Is it a banya or is it just a shed? One of the #1 rules in Russia is never eat yellow snow. From here you can see quite a few new builds, and I guess when these couple of old ones go, the whole skyline will change. Here we've got a new one being built, and then this one with all its character. This is the one I was showing you from before, with the different types of colour of wood in it. The contrasts are just absolutely incredible, aren't they? From house to house, neighbour to neighbour, everything is different. Look at the size of this gate here. Another warning sign about angry dogs. And another huge high fence. But just going left to right, the difference in Russia is incredible. This really is a land of contrasts. And that's why I personally get angry with bloggers like the famous Bored and Bankrupt, because he'll stand here and make a video saying, look, I'm in provincial Russia, we're outside of Moscow, everything is crap, when he knows full well that if he just turns around 180 degrees, there's a brand new build behind him. But he doesn't show that because he portrays the impression that outside of Moscow everywhere is shit. And so therefore, if he says I'm in provincial Russia and he's standing next to this house, you don't expect there to be this house on the other side of him, because you've been taught, you've been told that outside of Moscow everywhere is crap, and that's what you should expect. And that's why if I was to create videos just showing places like this, I would get so many more views, because everybody would think like, wow, it's so wild and crazy in Russia. Whereas that's not the truth. The truth is that there's so much difference everywhere. The truth is that from one side of the road to the other side, there is so much difference and contrast, and that's why I really love Russia. Look at this one here. The character is incredible, I'm not going to lie, the character is really great, but actually living in one full time, what would it be like? I had no idea that these little pathways existed between these houses, because this is just an area that I kind of drive through. I never really walked down these areas at all. It's so interesting to see these little cut-throughs. Where is it going to take me? Well, that was awkward. Just as I was walking through to where their house was, had the camera running, and the owner stepped out the door. Let's go and walk down here. So many new builds. I wonder how long it will be till all of these, whole area is new built. See, this house here is just being built. And then this wall here looks like a Soviet wall. Haha. How great is that? Soviet wall. I don't think it is a Soviet wall. At one point the owner of this place probably thought he's going to have a permanent security guard outside. So he's built this like little area next to the entrance. What do you think about all these different types of houses? Do you think it looks nice? I guess it's strange having like an orange house, and then a pink house, and a yellow house, and then a red house all kind of next door to each other with different colour fences as well. And then this one is definitely like a late 90s house. Kind of wanted to build, I guess, like some sort of castle, I guess. And look, even here we've got like a kind of castle turret look on top of that. I think it is strange how there's so many different styles. No one's tried to follow the style of the neighbour. I guess it's because everybody's got a different fantasy and everybody's got a different budget. We obviously have gated communities, and inside those gated communities there is a particular style you have to follow. There's maybe like 10 or 20 types of houses that you can build. Or if you're going to build your own house, it has to follow the specifications of the other houses, so it kind of fits in, so it doesn't just look like it's kind of like this basically. But then gated communities are also completely different, because obviously you have to pay for the upkeep of everything. So this house has fallen by the wayside, I guess. Someone's probably going to build there pretty soon. These guys are probably not happy, because they probably used to living with no one else here, and now they're going to have a big house in front of them. We've got another little road here. I wonder what's down here. Let's go and take a look. I really want to go and look inside there, but the neighbours are looking out the window, so I can't. Ah! Wow! How is this still standing? That is incredible. That is defying the laws of gravity. And a perfect place to make a Bored and Bankrupt video. Wow! Can see some sort of painting in there. Now what's weird is this pathway's been cleaned, so I'm guessing someone actually lives through here. Blimey. This looks like the smallest door known to man. This dude in front of us is obviously a Russia fan. He's got the flag on his bag. And let's go and take a look at this church. I've never been to this church before. It almost looks, obviously it looks Orthodox, but it also looks a little bit like a temple, doesn't it? This is in fact a road that I always drive past in my car. Why do signs in Russia always look more scary than in the West? This is a mosaic, or a mosaic, depending on where in the world you live. That would look amazing if the lantern was lit as well, wouldn't it? Well, it's the first time I've ever seen that in my life, a priest's grave, like a memorial site, right in the centre of the churchyard. So you're his grandson?
Yeah, I'm the grandson of
wow.
Bridget Markel. He was the one who started services in this church in 1992 when this church reopened. Now, the head priest of this church, I don't know how to say it in English, I will say head priest.
No, it sounds right, I think.
Is his son, Victor,
okay.
Victor, my father.
Wow.
This man that just passed by is my elder brother. He's also a priest in this church.
Wow. So are you going to become
a student in a theological school?
So you're going to become a priest also here, or?
Well, if God lets me.
Okay. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yes.
Well, really, that's so cool. Thank you. What's your name?
Konstantin.
Konstantin. Sam.
Oh,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So this is Konstantin, and he's just explained to me his family history and about this church. It's so interesting. And so what was in this church before? It was just standing here?
Well, the history of this church is very ancient. The kniaz Andrei Bogolubsky built a church on the not seashore, on the shore of river Klazma. When the icon of the Mother of God, Vladimir, was met in our city.
Okay, wow.
Then the church was moved here. So, as I said, this church was wooden, and then it was moved here. And I don't know when exactly, but in the 19th century there was a big fire. The church broke down, and then this church was built from the stone. It was closed in 1937 because this
communism.
Communism. They were atheists, aggressive ones. So the church was closed. Here was a furniture warehouse.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
The church was
crazy. Gutted, yeah?
In a very bad condition. But this floor is the original one from
wow.
the 19th century.
Wow.
This church has 3 altars. I don't know. Let's say
altars,
sanctuaries.
it's right.
The main one of the meeting of Vladimirskaya icon of Mother of God in the city of Vladimir. Then there are 2 more. Also, here are 2 on the sides. This one in the meeting of the God. I don't know the English term of this.
I don't know either.
And this one to the icon of the Mother of God comforting the sad.
Okay.
This is the icon.
Wow.
It is very old. It was saved by one of the people when the church was closed. So
Wow.
I guess this is it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So imagine that, I just meet this guy, Konstantin, he's so cool, yeah, and he just tells me about his family history, and he lets me film inside here. It's incredible. It is incredible, these Russian churches. I mean, look at how amazing it is. The detail that's gone into this place is just incredible. You wouldn't know it from the outside, would you? You'd have no idea, and you walk inside and it's just absolutely insane. It really is. Wow, amazing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye. Good luck.
You too.
As we come out of the church, let's continue our walk around the area. This person has got an incredible gate too. It looks absolutely insane. I think the gate might actually be nicer than the house inside. Do you have a favourite house out of the houses we've seen today? Let me know in the comments. It just keeps amazing me, the different styles. This is like kind of like a few houses in one all put together. And this one over here looks full of character too. So interesting, so many different types of wood and I guess different stages it was put together. I think this might be a first, but I think we might have 2 houses on the same street that look the same. I don't think this dude's going to be coming back for his van. Wow. So I mean, this is a really nice house, but look at the view. I mean, would you really want to have that view? For the price they must have paid for that land as well. It's not going to be cheap. This place looks nice and cozy, but it's again sandwiched between all of these new builds. It must feel a bit kind of like, I don't know, as though you can't breathe. And here, this is brand new. Look, it says for sale, the house and the land, the plot. And this looks really nice opposite, doesn't it? It looks very picturesque. Because the land here is so expensive, people tend to build upwards. So you don't have such a big territory, and well, you end up with houses that are kind of like squashed together. This massive house here has been in this condition for years. I can remember when we were looking for a property to rent and use as our English school, well, they were trying to get us to rent this place and do the refurbishments. And just imagine what it must be like for this house here to live next door to them and then opposite this thing. So glad we chose not to renovate a building that wasn't ours in order to use it as our premises, because in Russia that is the worst thing you can do. In fact, it's probably the same anywhere in the world, but you can do all the renovations and then the owner of the building will find some way to say that you've broken the agreement, kick you out, and they've got a brand new building. And look at this next door. That is insane, isn't it? Imagine that, you live in this building here and then behind you you've got that thing, and then from here this street is really narrow, but the types of houses are just insane, how they've got so many different types. Wow, look at this one as well, right on the corner. Insane, really is insane. When it's insane because it's next door to this. I bet it's really scary pulling out of this driveway in the morning when you've got cars coming around these corners. And then again, this one here with that view behind it. Do you really want to live next to that view? This really is the land of contrasts. Look at the letterbox. That's brilliant. Just sliced the hole inside. This really pisses me off because there's no need for it, you know, it's just a piss take. Why have the rubbish there like that? But this building is huge, but it's a bit strange, isn't it? I think it was built probably with a different brick, and they've recently put these other bricks on top of it to make it look kind of better maybe, because it might be massive, but it's not very nice, is it? And look at the view. Look at these guys cleaning a roof up there, very brave. Here we've got lots of brand new kind of blocks of flats, apartments, and this is what I crashed my car on the other day. See, these are just here to reserve your car parking space, but the space isn't actually yours, right? Just kind of put it there to reserve your space, and they fold down. So I folded it down, drove over it, and it bounced back up, hit my bumper and smashed my bumper. So remember, if someone says, look, this is life outside of Moscow, this is provincial Russia, and they show just houses like that one, then don't believe them. And if they show just houses like that one, don't believe them either. Provincial Russia is a place of huge contrasts, and that's why I love provincial Russia. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. My hands are freezing, I've lost my gloves. I'm going to go get myself a cup of tea. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.